Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. Got a ton of cool metal and hard rock pickups to show you today. A lot of CDs, a lot of cassettes, a lot of vinyl. These are my pickups from the last 3 or so months, probably 3 to 4 months since my last pickups video. So yeah, a lot of this stuff bought at record stores, thrift stores, some online. So let's get right into it, man. If you like this type of stuff, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. I would appreciate all that. Thank you so much. So I'm going to do CDs first. Again, this is just all hard rock and metal stuff. So I'm going to start out with this stuff. Picked most of this up at Goodwill. I'll point out anything that wasn't, but got Nightwish with Over the Hills and Far Away, their EP from 2001. Found this at a Goodwill. Was super stoked to find it because you never see stuff like this at Goodwill. Symphonic power metal. You never find that at Goodwill. So, but found this at Goodwill, so I was absolutely stoked. So, this here has Over the Hills and Far Away, the Gary Moore cover, not Led Zeppelin, but Gary Moore, his version. 10th Man Down, which is also a really good Nightwish song, and then you get a bunch of live cuts too. This is a really good set, and for like the $2 that it was, you can never go wrong. If you want to build a collection of stuff, really anything, classic rock, metal, hard rock stuff, if you hit your local Goodwills up, you can still find good stuff there, especially in CDs. Cassettes are kind of hit or miss, and vinyl is basically non-existent at the thrift stores anymore, at least in my area. But decent vinyl worth picking up anyway. But CDs, you can build a pretty impressive collection for next to nothing. Also picked up that same trip, TSO, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. This is like a 6-track EP from 2007. I'm assuming they probably sold this or gave this out at shows. Never seen TSO. I would love to. I'm a big Sabotage fan, so they're linked with them, and that would be really fun to go. I know my wife would appreciate that too, so maybe one year we'll check it out. Also picked this up, same trip, brand new factory sealed TSO, The Lost Christmas Eve. So very cool. A lot of good tracks on there. Tyler picked this up for me at a Goodwill. Gary Moore's Still Got the Blues. Really good record. This is the digitally remastered edition too from Europe. It's a European pressing, so made it all the way over here, and he picked it up at Goodwill. Again, you can still find good stuff at Goodwills as far as CDs go. Also picked this up at Goodwill. Megadeth, The System Has Failed, the 2004 comeback record when Dave reformed the group. I do like this album quite a bit. Awesome album cover, like most Megadeth album covers are. Blackmail the Universe, Die Dead Enough, Kick the Chair, really good song. Back in the Day is a really good thrasher on here. Check this out if you haven't listened to it. Alrighty. Let's see, any more Goodwill stuff? Breaking Benjamin, We Are Not Alone. As far as like radio hard rock goes, they're one of the best bands going. Amazing pop sensibilities. Ben is an amazing songwriter, like just absolutely stellar. So if you are more open to kind of pop rock and radio rock stuff, I highly suggest Breaking Benjamin. They haven't missed. This is their second album. This was their breakthrough with the big single So Cold on there. But all their albums are very decent. Very samey, but I don't mind that. They know what they do well, and they do it very, very well. So I don't mind that at all. Alrighty, let's keep it moving here. Any more Goodwill stuff? I think that's it as far as Goodwill CDs go. Let's go with this. Behemoth, 30 Years of Blasphemy. This is the 30-year compilation live set that they put out. Was it end of last year, I think? And just picked up the CD version because it does have the 3 CDs and the Blu-ray. You know, one thing about Behemoth, their studio output I've kind of been sour on since the Satanist. I did like I Love You at Your Darkest quite a bit, but the last record I wasn't into. The new single I'm not really into, but they put on a hell of a live show. Their presentation and also their physical media, the packaging is always top notch. So I opted for this set because it was so much cheaper than the vinyl set, and you get the Blu-ray. And the visuals for this band are half the fun. So yeah, Behemoth, 30 Years of Blasphemy. That's a really good set too. There's 3 different sets that cover all 30 years of the band. So if you like to celebrate the whole history of the band, that's definitely something to look into. Next up, we'll go with this one. Let's get some death metal in here. Witch Vomit with Funeral Sanctum. This is their album from 2024, put out on $20 Spin. I try to keep up on like newer releases that catch my eye, and I saw this on people's end of the year list, or it might have been on a Spotify playlist, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty interesting, let me check it out, and listen to it on Spotify, and I was just like, yeah, this is really good. So I went to see it and picked up the album. Very cool. I think they're from the Pacific Northwest, if I remember right. So yeah, check them out if you're into some death metal. Witch Vomit with Funeral Sanctum. I know they have a few other albums too. Alrighty, let's just do this one. Brand new, as of recording just a couple days ago, released the new Dream Theater, Parasomnia. Really have been enjoying this record quite a bit. Portnoy's back, and he has been missed, man. I don't dislike Mike Mangini. I think he's an excellent drummer. And I've seen him live with Mike Mangini and puts on a great show. But I don't know. Something was missing. Portnoy, his feel and his timing, his pop sensibilities, all of that is just 100% needed for this band. I think he grounds the band a little bit, and it shows on this record. His drums sound awesome. I love the production on this. Petrucci's obviously great. Just an amazing guitar player, man. And yeah, I really dig this record. Some people are accusing it of just being same old Dream Theater. To me, it's a breath of fresh air, because the last 5 records with Mike Mangini I've listened to, and they've literally gone out one ear, in one ear and out the other. Whereas this record I've listened to 5 or 6 times in about 3 days. So I know the artwork is under some fire. Hugh Syme is under some fire for reusing some AI artwork potentially, but I opted for the CD version because my local didn't have the vinyl in stock. So CDs are so cheap compared to vinyl now. I'll save the money where I can, but absolutely love this record. I would be shocked if it doesn't make my top 10 at the end of this year. All right, these pickups I actually got all yesterday. Bruce Dickinson's The Chemical Wedding. Absolutely stellar album. His 1998 solo album. Yeah, just a great album. If you never listened to Bruce solo, check it out. If you're a Maiden fan, even if you're not a Maiden fan, because it's different than Maiden. There's more pop, there's more rock sensibilities involved. So yeah, that's a great album. Picked up Fear Factory, Digimortal. Really cool digipack here. Love Fear Factory. Industrial, death metal. Great packaging. Really cool set. Picked all these up at a place called the House of Used out in Mesa. There was a pretty cool store. Had a lot of good selection of CDs anyway. Deep Purple. This is Slaves and Masters. Yeah. So picking up the 90s Deep Purple stuff. Some of the last Blackmore albums. Deep Purple, The Battle Rages On. Kind of dig that cover. It's pretty cool. And then this I was actually really shocked to see, Blue Murder. So picked up some John Sykes stuff. R.I.P. And this is a digipack and promo, not for sale. So from the era, from 88 or whatever when this came out. So Yeah, this is a really good album. I like their second album a little bit more, but I was really stoked to find that. All right, this one I picked up at Zia, brand new. A little late to the party on this. I will probably get the vinyl eventually too, but it's a pretty penny because it's a 3 LP. Halloween with their new live set, live at Budokan. I've streamed the hell out of this. It's excellent. The band was firing on all cylinders during this tour. I saw them on this tour during the U.S. stretch of this, and yeah, they absolutely nail it. This is a great, great show. And this first time playing Budokan for them, and they absolutely killed it. And I do want to get the Blu-ray as well. It's a 2-disc set. You get a ton of songs. This is the same set list they played when my wife and I saw them, so I had to have this. All right, last CD I got. This is actually 8 CDs. This is a Van Halen bootleg. Van Halen The Best Days, 8 CD set. This is all radio broadcast recordings. And from what I can tell, it looks like it's 4 Dave sets and 4 Sammy sets. So you got a best of both worlds there, no pun intended. Kind of captures all eras of the band. So I'm excited to dig into this. It's really well done. Some cool pictures. And then all 8 discs in there. So I don't know specific years on this. I'm just obviously going to assume most of the Sammy stuff's from the 90s. There might be some late 80s stuff in there, but so yeah. But very cool. I wish there was some more information, like what years they were from and what, where they were when it was captured, but I'm sure I can probably pick that out when I listen to it. All right, let's do cassettes. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff. Stuff that I was shocked to find. Stuff that I probably shouldn't have spent as much money as I did. But we'll get into it. So let's get into some Goodwill stuff that Tyler got me. Absolutely crazy that he found this at Goodwill. Creator, Coma of Souls. So German thrash metal. Absolutely stellar album. And this is crazy to find at a Goodwill. So you can still find good physical media at Goodwill. Cassettes, CDs especially. Not so much vinyl. He also found this at Goodwill for me. Dio, Dream Evil. That's an absolutely crazy Goodwill find too. Not as much as the Creator, but still. And then little, more Goodwill-esque. Shades of Deep Purple. But good nonetheless. Alrighty, I think. Let's see. I'm trying to put all the big haul together. And I think it's mostly that stuff. Tyler got this for me at Goodwill. AC/DC High Voltage. This is a 94 reissue. So it's like brand new looking. So very cool. Seeing AC/DC in April in Vegas. So that'll be fun. That was from that. Let's see. Picked this up yesterday. The Cult, Sonic Temple, for a couple bucks. Great hard rock record. Picked this up also yesterday. Brand new factory sealed compliments of KDWB 101.3. Shout out to that station. If you know what that is, leave a comment down below. This is factory sealed. Extreme Porno Graffiti. Great record. Yeah, dude. Factory sealed. Look at that. That was like $2. And let's see here. Picked this up at the In Groove, Last Action Hero soundtrack. If you don't know this soundtrack, it's absolutely legendary. AC/DC, Alice in Chains, Megadeth, Queensryche, Def Leppard, Anthrax, Aerosmith, Tesla. Yeah, it's a stacked soundtrack for an excellent movie. Schwarzenegger flick. If you haven't seen this, highly suggest you check it out, especially if you like kind of satirical comedies. And well done 90s action flicks. Movie still holds up. Last one I got it in Groove a few months back. Creator, Extreme Aggression, another classic German thrash metal album. And this whole stack here that I'm going to run through is all stuff that I picked up at Zia Records all at once. So this is probably the most I've spent on cassettes in a very, very long time, especially all at one time. But let's get into it, and you'll kind of see the quality here. So Testament, The Legacy, great album. Probably most people's favorite Testament album, probably mine as well. Not a huge Testament fan, but I love that record. Slayer, Show No Mercy. So Slayer's debut. All of this, too, is pretty much of the time. I think some of these Slayers are like kind of late 80s represses, but they're nearing 40 years old. So Slayer's Show No Mercy. Slayer's Haunting the Chapel. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Love that. I love when cassettes change the album cover. Just do something simple, like orientate it this way, zoom in on the picture a little bit. Just change it up a little bit. Don't do this. Do this. And they started doing that more in the 90s. Metallica's Ride the Lightning. See, that one kind of sucks. You got the album cover, then you have Metallica. It's saying everything twice. Megadeth's Rust in Peace. Absolutely classic album. I own all these on multiple formats, but I dig having the cassettes. Just kind of a little convenience factor. I don't know. They're probably more inconvenient than CDs, obviously, because you got to rewind and stuff. But sometimes I like just throwing on the cassettes. It's nostalgia. What can I say? Megadeth, Peace Sells, but who's buying? Another good alternate cover there for the cassette. Slayer's Live Undead. Awesome. Megadeth's Cryptic Writings. Good 90s Megadeth record. I like a lot of Megadeth. I'm a fan of Dave. I think he's an excellent riff writer and songwriter. So even the 90s stuff and into the 2000s and today, I still like a good Megadeth riff and Dave riff and Megadeth album. Metallica's Master of Puppets. And Metallica's Black Album. So got a nice run of cassettes there. So as you can tell, I just got a bunch of heavy hitters out of the way and I'm just going to bite the bullet and spend the money on it. Looks really good in the rack. So I'm out of cassette room though, which kind of sucks. Technically I'm not because I own 2 cassette racks. One of them is full. The other one, I just don't know where to put it. I don't have any room. So we'll see. Let's do vinyl. Got a lot of good stuff here. And certainly first, but not least, is Dark Throne's Transylvanian Hunger. This is the 30th anniversary reissue. It's on a Corona vinyl, that's what they call it, with the white and black swirl. Looks really cool. Matches the album cover. Classic Norwegian black metal for you. Picked these up very recently. Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. This is part of the Rhino reissue series. Super stoked that those are actually getting reissued because a lot of Dream Theater was extremely out of print. Dream Theater's Awake. Classic prog metal record. Haven't even opened these. Only bought these a couple days ago. There's one more too, Falling into Infinity, and they did Images and Words as well, but I already own that one. Next up, my only Record Store Day Black Friday release. It was a pretty light Black Friday for me. So, it is what it is. Considering this year's Record Store Day is absolutely stacked. There's 8 things that I want, so that'll be interesting. Ramones, The Greatest Hits. First time on vinyl. It's like a red translucent, too. Rhino did a great job, as they usually do. Sounds great. Flat pressing. No sound. Yeah. So, yeah. This is the celebrating Ramones' 50th anniversary on red translucent vinyl. 20 of their most loved songs. I own all these on their albums, but Ramones are a band where sometimes you just want to put on the greatest hits, and you can get through 20 songs in about a half hour. It's perfect. Moving on here. At the Gates, Terminal Spirit Disease. This is the 30th anniversary pressing of this. So some Swedish Melodeath for you. This is on a marble vinyl. which looks really cool. So yeah, At the Gates, Terminal Spirit Disease. This is a record I own, but this was just super clean and super cool to see. So German pressing, original German pressing of Deep Purple's Machine Head. And it's just absolutely in stellar condition, so I had to have it. A brand new record, been out for about a week. Really cool band, the Night Flight Orchestra. If you like 70s hard rock, 70s disco, AOR stuff, definitely check them out. The guys from Soilwork, Swedish death metal band, this is their side project. And it celebrates ABBA and ELO and that 70s era type of stuff. And they do a great job with it. And this is an absolutely stellar record, man. Their newest one. This just came out last week. I've spun it a ton. Really good record. They don't have a bad record. Like I said, if you like that type of stuff, check them out. They do a really good job of capturing those vibes. They're big fans of ABBA, pop music, stuff like that. And it shows up. And they have excellent album artwork too. Like every album is really cool. So check them out. Highly suggest them. Suggest them for fans of that like classic rock era stuff and disco, stuff like that. Next up, another brand new album, All That Remains. So got some kind of American metalcore for you, similar to Killswitch Engage and Shadow Swall from that northeast part of the U.S. All That Remains, to me, they really don't have a bad record. I really like this record. Their new one, Anti-Fragile, spun it a ton. This is self-released, so happy that they're still out making music. Phil holding it down. Sounds great. There's some pretty like radio-esque songs because they've had some pretty decent radio hits, and there's a couple on here that I could tell, but it's pretty heavy too. There's a couple that I could tell that they were going after that audience, but there's a lot of heavy songs on here too. So check it out if you like Killswitch Engage, stuff like that. This might be up your alley. You probably already know who All That Remains is, but maybe you didn't know that they're still doing records. So there you go. Alrighty, these are some heavy hitters. I got these next four I got yesterday actually, so was super stoked to find these. So Motley Crue's Theater of Pain. This is like a brand new copy of this. Super clean. It has all the inserts, the mail away stuff for the fan club and the merch and stuff. It's absolutely stellar copy of this. So not my favorite Crue record, but one I didn't own. So to find it that nice and it wasn't super expensive, I was stoked on that. This one I was absolutely just over the moon about. It's an amazing album. And I won't bury the lead anymore. Merciful Fate's Melissa. Now I own this in many different formats and different reissues, but this is an 83 US pressing. And it is absolutely really clean. They had it marked at $45, and which is a pretty good price based off Discogs. And they said it had a few minor scratches in it. So I looked at it and I'm like, I'm going to take the risk because I had enough points to get it half off. So technically I got it for about $22.50, roughly. And I'm so glad I picked it up because I spun it last night and it sounds so good. And I just look at that sleeve, it's absolutely gorgeous. And the vinyl, other than a few spots, like it's VG plus easily, and the sleeve is definitely VG plus. So I was super stoked to find this. Again, I have many copies of that album, but to find an original US pressing out in the wild, just really cool. And one of the most formative records in metal history. Merciful Fate, that and Don't Break the Oath, man. A lot of bands owe their whole careers and catalogs of those two albums. Picked this up, and I should have checked my Discogs because I already own this album, but this is super clean, so I'll take it. AC/DC, For Those About to Rock. This is a Columbia House pressing. This is absolutely just gorgeous, so I kind of pulled the trigger on it too soon, but I was like, it's super clean. So it's probably in a condition upgrade compared to the one I have. Next up is an album I didn't even know existed, Kansas. This is their 88 album. In the spirit of things, it's probably not good, but I'll listen to bad Kansas over most bands. So, yeah, I've never seen this album cover before ever. And 88, you're getting into CD and cassettes dominating the market. So it's kind of hard to find late 80s, early 90s vinyl. So pulled the trigger on that because I do love me some Kansas. Next up, we got a box set. Long awaited. Kind of overdue for a lot of fans because they needed these albums repressed. And they are now repressed out of the box too. This is the Rush box set. The albums 1989 to 1996. So you get Presto, Roll the Bones, Counterparts, and Test for Echo. The only one I owned here on vinyl was Presto. I own an original pressing of that. US pressing. But I used to own the reissues that they did a number of years ago for Roll the Bones, Counterparts, and Test for Echo, but they didn't survive the great vinyl purge of a number of years ago. So I completely regret that because I wish I had those 200-gram pressings, but these will do for now. I like the box set enough. Honestly, if you have original pressings of CDs for these records, they'll probably do you, but I'm such a Rush kind of completist. I had to have it. And I do love these records, all of them. So, yeah, had to have this. And it is a good quality set. I'm happy with it. If you're familiar with the older reissues they did about 10 years ago, they're basically the same thing. They're just not 200 gram. I don't even think they're 180. I think they're like 140 or 150 or whatever. But it's a good set. I'm happy to have it. And I'm happy that fans get their hands on those records on vinyl again. Next up, we got a newer record, too. This came out at the end of last year, if I remember right. Jerry Cantrell's new solo record, I Want Blood. Self-released by the man himself. I really like this album. A lot of people are saying this is the long-lost Alice in Chains record. I wouldn't go that far. It's very, very good. I don't consider it better than any of the recent Alice in Chains records. Really, any of them. Since they brought back the band with William. I could be in the minority there, but I will always fight for Alice in Chains' right to exist, and I will always fight for William Duvall because that dude is an amazing musician. He's a stellar human being, so he gets a lot of shit from fans that absolutely he has nothing to do with either. So yeah, but this is a good record. Is it the long-lost Alice in Chains record? No. That's kind of selling the rest of Alice in Chains extremely short because those guys are all very integral to the band, William included. But yeah, I like it quite a bit. If you get the vinyl pressing too, you get some bonus tracks, which is pretty cool. So yeah, really good quality. Dude, guys can do these self-releases and like the quality is no different than if whoever put that out. Like if Warner put that out, it's no different. So, or Rhino or whoever. So it's really good quality, especially for a guy like that. If you have the money, if you're an established band, I get it. Next up, another fairly new album from last year. It was definitely in my top 10 of the year. If I would have made a list, I didn't. But this is Devin Townsend with Power Nerd. Wasn't super stoked about this album because it's more, it was sold as a more jokey album. Devin was going to lighten up a little bit, but it's definitely proggy, definitely heavy, but a lot of good introspective songs on here too. I love hearing Devin's takes on being a husband, being a father, that type of stuff. And this record surprisingly does have that. So I've gone back to this quite a bit. So yeah, Devin Townsend, Power Nerd. He's a hard artist to try to keep up with because he's so prolific, but like, man, 99% of the time the dude doesn't miss. Like, he's a legit genius. So check that out if you missed that one and you're into Devin. Next up, we'll do both these together because they go together. They're a blackened progressive death metal band, I guess. Kind of more black metal, but progressive black metal is kind of an oxymoron, but whatever. I don't care. Argue about subgenres in the comments for all I care. This is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Amnesis. This is Reclamation Part 1 and Reclamation Part 2. Really cool albums. I was going through list of like 2024 releases, and these caught my eye. Checked them out on Spotify, and then found their Bandcamp and picked up both of these because they go together. It's kind of a double album, just released separately. This is on a blue. I have not opened this one yet. I have listened to it a number of times, but I haven't spun it on vinyl. So yeah, if you like more progressive black metal, that kind of stretches the term black metal, check them out. Pretty cool. I think they're from Minnesota, if I remember right. So yeah, check them out. Pretty cool band. Next up is Bathory, Blood, Fire, Death. It's kind of the bridge album between the early black metal stuff and the Viking metal stuff. Great record. I don't own hardly any Bathory, just because I never see it in the shops, and I just never ordered online. This is a reissue from, I don't know, like 2023 or something. So this is a great album. Yeah. Also known as Batlord, if you prefer Batlord instead of Bathory. But yeah, I really dig this record. Like I said, it's kind of a good bridge between Corathon's black metal, raw, dark stuff and his later Viking metal stuff. The later Viking metal stuff, like his last two albums, I absolutely adore. Especially when he kind of honed in his vocal style, especially with his clean singing. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, super stoked to get this, and definitely need to add more Bathory into the collection. Obviously, they're another formative band or artist, just like Merciful Fate for sure. All right, we got two more. AC/DC's Who Made Who. This is a really like clean copy of this in cellophane. Really cool too, because I picked this up at Zia, and it has the old 80s Zia Records price sticker on there. I always love seeing that. Absolutely gorgeous pressing. Love that Atlantic label. Quite possibly one of my favorite soundtracks ever. Soundtrack record thing, because there is some original tunes on there that they did for Maximum Overdrive. Another great flick. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Stephen King's only movie he ever directed. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's an amazing flick with an amazing soundtrack done by AC/DC. So, and that is like one of the formative records in my life. That and Back in Black, those two albums. And I do own a like a modern reissue of that, but to own that with a cellophane super clean copy, I'll definitely double up on that. Next up, certainly last but not least, this is one of the best pressings I have in my collection. If you have an opportunity to buy any of these, I'm assuming if they're all of this quality, check them out, because it's absolutely stellar. This is the Rhino High Fidelity issue of Black Sabbath's Black Sabbath. And yeah, like I said, this is super high quality, man, for a good price. Really glossy, hard cover. Just absolutely amazing quality. The pressing sounds amazing. Super flat, super quiet. This is like one of the best listening experiences I've had in a very, very long time. I watched Mike from the In-Groove do like a breakdown of this, comparing it to other pressings, and I was finding it hard to believe. You know, he praised it so much, and like it truly lives up to the hype. This is not the numbered version, so there might be a difference there. This is just the reissue that they did, but I'm absolutely super happy with it. Like, if they put out more stuff that I want to get through this line, I will absolutely buy it. Because it is absolutely stellar. My only gripe against it is it's like a little bit bigger than a normal size LP, so it does not fit in my Japanese sleeves. So that absolutely bugs the shit out of me. But other than that, it's an absolutely stellar pressing of it. Obviously an amazing record, and the quality of this is just amazing. The gatefold is great. You get the Obi with it. So there's your Obi, which is very cool. And then you get the record, and it is with poly inners, comes stock with it, which I absolutely love. And here is your gatefold. So just like a perfect recreation of an original pressing. And yeah, it's an amazing pressing. Highly recommend those Rhino high fidelities. If they are all like that, they are well worth it. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's all my rock, hard rock, and metal pickups over the last, 3 or 4 months. So yeah, if you like this stuff, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below too. What records did you like out of these? There's a lot, but pick out some records that you like, and maybe suggest some stuff that you think I'd like based on what you saw here today. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.